Namaste, this is Samta Auntie. Today we are going to talk about how to say I in Hindi. This video is useful for adults that are learning Hindi as well as children who are learning Hindi at an intermediate level. The words for I in Hindi are like chai and samosas. They go together. They both mean I, but they are separate things. Notice I said words. There are two ways to say I in Hindi. Main and Mujhe. And before I go on, a quick note about the phonetic spelling of the Hindi words in my lessons. I optimize the spellings for children's ease of reading and pronunciation, so that's why you see the spellings the way you do. All right, let's get back to it. So again, there are two ways to say I in Hindi, main and mujhe. So like Bagh Sahib, you're probably wondering, what's the difference? What's the difference between main and mujhe? Before we answer that, just a quick side note. Tiger in Hindi is Bagh, and Bagh is the national animal of India. You might be thinking, wait, isn't Mor the national animal of India? Not quite. Mor is the national bird of India. Okay, let's get back to the question we were trying to answer, which is what's the difference between main and mujhe? Main is used when I is physically moving. Let me say that again. Main is used when I is physically moving. For example, I am eating makhan. Eating is an action that involves physically moving. In Hindi, it's main makhan kha raha hoon. See the main? Another example is I am teaching Hindi. Teaching is an action that involves physically moving. In Hindi, it's main Hindi sikha rahi hoon. See the main? Now, there's a second use of main. It's also used when I involves physically moving. Wait, what does that mean? It means that the person may not be moving right now, but the action in this sentence involves physical movement. It involves for I to physically move. For example, instead of I am practicing karate, we could change the sentence to I learn karate. He might not be doing karate right now, but it's something that he does. So it would still be a main sentence. Another example, I meditate every morning. Again, she's not meditating right now, but she does every day. So it would be a main sentence because meditation requires physical movement. Instead of I am dancing, we could change it to I dance after school. He's not dancing right now, but dancing definitely involves physical movement, right? So it would be a main sentence. Another one is, I run on the team. Is he running right now? No, but he does run, and running definitely requires moving your body. So it's a main sentence. Another one is, I play volleyball. Again, he's not playing right now, but does. And that requires physical movement. So it's a main sentence. And lastly, we can change I am surfing to I surf every day. Is he surfing now? No, but he does surf. And does surfing involve physical movement? Yep. So in each of these, the I physically involves moving, so they are main sentences. And last example is I teach Bhangra. मैं Bhangra सिखाता हूँ. He's not teaching right now, but certainly teaching Bhangra involves physical movement, so it's a main sentence. Let's review. There are two times when main is used. When I is physically moving, like in the moment now, and when I involves physically moving, which might not be in the moment right now, but at some point, and it requires movement. Now, let's switch gears and look at mujhe. Mujhe is used when I is not physically moving. That means sentences such as I like, I want, and I don't know. You don't have to physically move to like someone or something, to want something, or when you don't know something. Those things don't require physical movement. Let's look at an example of when we'd use mujhe. In the sentence, I like bhangra. Liking something is not an action that involves physically moving. In Hindi, this sentence is Mujhe bhangra pasand hai. Mujhe bhangra pasand hai. We don't say main bhangra pasand hai. We say mujhe bhangra pasand hai. Let's do another one. I want ice cream. Wanting something is not an action that involves physically moving. In Hindi, this sentence is Mujhe ice cream chahiye. Mujhe ice cream chahiye. Here's another one. I want to play basketball. Remember, he's not playing basketball at the moment. It says, I want to play basketball. Wanting something is not an action that involves physically moving. So in Hindi, the sentence is, Mujhe basketball khelna hai. Mujhe basketball khelna hai. And here's another one. I don't know. In Hindi, this sentence is, Mujhe nahi pata. Mujhe nahi pata. Not knowing something does not involve physically moving. Some of my students say, but what about when you shrug your shoulders or say, I don't know? Is that physically moving? Well, those actions are, but those are not the action of not knowing something itself. Not knowing something does not involve any physical movement. Shrugging your shoulders does, but not knowing something doesn't. Let's look at this one. I don't want carrots. In Hindi, this sentence is, Mujhe gajar nahi chahiye. Mujhe gajar nahi chahiye. Not wanting something does not involve physically moving. And let's look at this one. Another way mujhe is used. Mujhe has another second meaning besides I. It also means me. It also means me. Like I, the me of the sentence is still not physically moving. Let's look at an example. Let me see. In Hindi, this sentence is, Mujhe dekhne do. Mujhe dekhne do. The me is not physically moving. The me is saying, let me see. Let me see. Let's look at another example. Give me 10 barfis. In Hindi, this sentence is, Mujhe 10 barfi de do. Mujhe 10 barfi de do. Here also, the me is not physically moving. Now that you know the difference between main and mujhe, let's look at these examples. I am thirsty is Mujhe प्यास लगी है. And I am fine is मैं ठीक हूँ. But wait a second. Why is one mujhe and the other मैं? Well, let's understand the meaning behind these. We have the sentence Mujhe प्यास लगी है. What it communicates is, I am thirsty. But what it actually means is, thirst is happening to me. Now, let's look at मैं अच्छा हूँ. We're communicating, I am good. But what it actually means is, I am feeling good. So let's bring this together and understand the difference. The difference is about who's in control. Feeling thirsty is out of my control. My body's responding to my environment and making me thirsty. So that's why it's a mujhe sentence. Whereas for मैं अच्छा हूँ, I am in complete control of my emotions. And that's why it's a मैं sentence. As we have been doing these practice examples, you may have observed that the sentences end with hu or hai. And if you did notice, great observation. Hu means am, and hai means is and are. Main sentences always end with hu, and mujhe sentences usually end with hai. There are some mujhe sentences where the hai is dropped or not needed, but don't worry about those right now. You'll learn those gradually. Now I want to address a couple of words that you may have heard. Mujhko and mere ko. Sometimes people say these instead of mujhe. This is colloquial Hindi, which means it's accepted, but it's not grammatically correct. What does that mean? Well, let's look at an example of that in English. The baker could say, "Y'all are gonna love my cakes." Or he could say, "All of you are going to love my cakes." The second one is grammatically correct. It's correct English, but the first one is accepted and used even though, according to grammar rules, it's not correct. Similarly, mujhko and mere ko are used as replacements for mujhe, but that's not good Hindi. Mujhe is the way to go. But if you hear someone say, "Mujhko bhangra pasand hai," or "Mere ko bhangra pasand hai," don't be that annoying person that corrects them. Just silently know that it's informal Hindi, and when it's your turn to speak, you'll say mujhe. Mujhe bhangra pasand hai. We've covered a lot, so let's do a quick review. Main and mujhe both mean I. Mujhe also means me. We use main when I is physically moving, as well as when I involves physically moving. And mujhe is used when I is not physically moving. And remember, main sentences always end with hu, and mujhe sentences usually end with hai. And stay away from these replacements for mujhe. Now you know how to say I and me in Hindi. Dhanyavad for joining me. I'll see you in class.